Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We rented movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained as pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge sent us podcast. Hey.
We didn't ask for this job.
We didn't have to. It's built in. Has been ever since the dawn of time, when a few wild dogs took it upon themselves to watch over man, to bark when he's in danger, to run and play with him when he's happy, to nuzzle him when he's lonely. That's why they call us man's best friend.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweetie.
And I'm Sweetie.
And Sweetie's back from vacation.
And it was really fun. But it's good to be back because as much as I love travel, and Greece and Crete was amazing, sometimes it's just good to sleep in your own bed.
Would you say you took a long journey home?
It was so long. I think I traveled 12 hours that day with a 7.5-hour flight at one point. Wanted to kill myself. But yes, it was a long journey. You could have said I was going homeward
bound. I said homebound. I'm a nut. All right, guys, we finally did maybe the saddest movie in all the land, other maybe than My Girl. But this one was hard for me because I love it. But I knew it was going to be real sad at the end, even though it's a happy sad. So it's a little different. So I knew I could do it. But man, this one really gets you in the heart.
This is, it's basically what this movie is known for. I mean, it's like when people say like Old Yeller. You don't remember like any other part of Old Yeller except when they have to kill him at the end.
Who would want to fucking watch that movie? I don't know.
Not
me.
But
I'm not
same with
watching it.
Homeward Bound. Every person as a kid who watched this, because it's like, what is the deal with sad shit in kids' movies? Okay.
I don't know, preparing us for the inevitable.
Right. It's great. And it's never like, it's sad, but happy. It's a sad and then happy, or it's a happy sad. There's always like reuniting and shit, right? I mean, Atreyu and Artax.
Right. Guess he didn't die. Who knew? You just wish him
Old
back.
Yeller doesn't go back to life or anything.
Nope,
though.
he doesn't. That one, he just did.
But,
that one's
right.
really fucking sad.
So,
I'm never going to watch that movie.
Okay.
We
won't be doing it for the podcast.
Who would?
So this is what everyone remembers this movie about. However, like, this movie is adorable.
Pretty freaking cute.
Who doesn't like stuff with talking animals? And I'm going to list some other movies that I would say belong in that same genre later.
Oh. Thought we were going now. I was all excited.
It's funny. It's exciting. The jokes are like cheesy, but a really good cheesy that I like laughed at all the cat and dog puns, which I could not believe.
But I think that
it's charming
because it's Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
And like, if maybe it was like an annoying person saying those chance lines, maybe it wouldn't have worked as well. But he's just like a really good voice actor. Like,
he is. And
spot on.
Okay, so Homeward Bound, 1993. The voice acting, as we're just talking about, was kind of key here, which it is in all movies that only include voice, because the voice has to like make the personality. Even though the dogs are talking, there's obviously like can't see as much emotion in the dog's face, right? So they have to really do all the emotion with their voice. And the people that they got for the three main animals, the only animals who talk, am I kidding? Were great. Great choices, right?
Yeah. We got Michael J. Fox as Chance. Sally Field as Sassy the cat. And Sweetie's favorite,
Don Amici, who I knew it was him, but then had to look it up, and like I was like, oh yeah, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I was like, I had a feeling it was like this old, famous actor with like a really charismatic voice. So Don Amici is, for us anyway, or for me, I just knew him as like the old guy in Cocoon. He played like a ton of like old people roles.
When did you see Cocoon? You keep talking about that movie, and I keep being like, where was I?
I've only seen like little bits of it, and I feel like I would always go to the video store and pick it up and be like, cocoon, and then put it back. I think I was so interested in the movie, but we never rented it.
It's so random.
I know.
Oh man.
It's like old people in the cocoons, and it's like eternal. I don't even know. Don Amici, everybody, but he has a great voice as Shadow. I mean, he like makes that role.
He's wise and old and sweet, and And I also, the thing I like about this movie also is that this is going to sound weird, but it's pretty fucking realistic because it's not like the dogs. I feel like in a lot of animal talking movies, like they seem to know what the human is saying, but like in this they don't understand what the humans say. Like they don't understand English basically, even though they're speaking English, but like dog English, cat English, I guess it's a different variant, but it just that always really stuck out to me. Like, dang, like of course they don't understand. Actually I take that back. That makes me really sad because we talk to our cats,
flip-flopper over here,
and I would like to think that they know what I'm talking about, but they don't. It's like when I found out that dogs were colorblind, and I was like, "You mean Sonny can't see my beautiful face and dress and color? Like, what the fuck?" It just made me so sad.
Yeah.
But, anyways, I still appreciate that about this movie.
Yeah, and I will say for this movie for me, so I obviously saw it like a lot when we were kids. It came out in '93, so I would have been 10. So I don't think I saw it in the movie theater. Pretty sure, but would have seen it like on TV much after that, and like and always really loved it. However, I feel like I'm watching it now as a 35-year-old cat owner, like a completely different way, because we first watched this when we were really, let's face it, more dog people.
Oh my God, I wrote this exact same thing down.
God, and I'm like conflicted because now I'm so sympathetic to the cat, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Sassy.
You're sympathetic to all of them.
But the way they make Sassy is kind of like, okay, this is definitely a pro dog movie, right? It's all about being man's best friend and like all the qualities that dogs have, which cats don't necessarily. I mean, they have some of them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like such a pro dog movie. So watching it as someone who had two dogs, one that looked kind of like Shadow but was not as old.
Was black and probably should have been called Shadow, unlike Shadow, who was not a shadow.
You just, if you're like, especially if you're a little kid with dogs like this, like we just related so much to those kids. And we had cats, but we just didn't have any luck with them. They weren't real sweet.
They died. They had bad luck and died a lot. But yeah, as a cat lady, this movie now has a whole different meaning because now I love cats and dogs.
Yes.
And now I'm like, oh, fuck, it's all sad now. But yeah, I will say it definitely gives cats like an unfair kind of thing here. Like they only care about their looks and like don't want to get wet.
Yeah, and of course the little girl's the one who had the cat. She named it Sassy. I mean, it's almost like it's this is really deep. It's like there's all these stereotypes about cats that they're using. Whereas the dog ones are like, they're stereotypes, but they're positive stereotypes. Like, oh, a dog is like a man's best friend. He like watches him.
But they also eat shoes and clothes and like a bunch of anything.
Right. So I guess those are stereotypes too.
They're dumb. Like they are a little dumb. Like Chance just like runs after anything that like he wants to. So
I'm just saying this is a pro dog movie and I'm totally okay with it. And in general, it's a pro pet movie.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way. But I just didn't really notice that when I was a kid because I was such a dog lover, maybe versus a cat lover.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Cool. All right. Well, I say we get into it. Cool.
It's time for the sweetie synopsis.
Yeah. Sweeties.
Oh, Shadow. I'm going to miss you, Shadow. That was my impression of Peter.
That was terrible.
The car window.
No.
I love you.
Oh, boy. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know who the main character is now. Chance the dog.
He is the narrator of the film.
Is the narrator of the film. And he talks about how he was in the pound for a while, pretty much blew, sucked a lot, and then this family saved him and gave him his second chance, and so that's his name, Chance. Although, how did they know it was his second chance? Like, who made up this name? Yeah. That's what I like to know. But, so Chance is like, I got a pretty cool life. He's with this family, and the mom has 3 kids, Hope, Peter, and Jamie. Peter's the eldest, and he has a dog named Shadow, who's a golden retriever. Is that one of those names where it's like Little John, and it's like this fat guy, and like, is it one of those against type names? I don't know.
What type names?
Like you're the opposite of what your name is. Like Little John is a big person
because he was light colored, and they named him Shadow.
Yeah, like why is he Shadow?
Why is he Shadow?
Exactly. Did they cast a black lab and we're like, we need a yellow, we need a
I
golden
got
retriever?
it. I know why he's Shadow. Because he follows Peter around like it's his shadow.
Oh, shit. Shoot. She's got it. She's got it. Yeah, so that's Shadow. He's the older dog, and he's like very wise, very sweet, loves his Peter, loyal, blah, blah, blah. So next we have Sassy the cat, who is Hope's cat. And she's sassy, and she's like, she's cool. She's a cool broad, but she's like, she's a little uptight. She doesn't like Chance, who's annoying. And Chance is wild and crazy, a pup. Shadow likes to refer to him all the time, and that's their family. So, for some reason, and Sweetie and I can't figure this out. If you can figure this out, or if you were paying better attention than we were, please let us know. They, for some reason, have to go to San Francisco temporarily. And they can't take the pets with them because they're going to be in close quarters. But the kids are in school. Okay. So, like, the wedding seemed like it was maybe end of summer, I guess.
Yeah.
They were in school. And then they came home at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like the dad, who they just is the new dad, right? He just gets married to the mom. Must have had a job in San Francisco. Though, then how did they meet? Just want to know.
I don't know. I think he was a professor and was like teaching school, but school's not done in Thanksgiving unless it's union.
Was the intention ever to have the kids with the pets all the time, or they were just going to do this weird visiting thing to this farm?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the long-term goal was.
And like, you know, the animals are confused as well, let's say. Now, we're not the only ones.
We're not.
Because, you know, they get taken to a farm, and it's this nice lady who owns a farm, which is great. Like, dogs do need space and stuff like that. So you're like, awesome. But they were never, like, going to see the kids. So anyway, so they're at this farm, and they're kind of like, Chance thinks that they've been abandoned because Chance has abandonment issues from being an orphan.
Yep.
Ding, ding. One of the themes of this movie. And he's like, they've left us. Why are you so attached? And, like, this is sort of Chance's persona as he's just come to the house because he's used to going to different homes. He's like a foster dog to this family, he thinks. But no, he doesn't know. He's never been around, like, a great family. So he obviously just jumps to it. We've been abandoned. Sassy is, like, kind of on the fence. And Shadow is like, they did not abandon us. Peter would never abandon us. This is what Peter said, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he's like up Peter's ass. No, he really, really loves him. I mean, he's a Shadow. So they start to get like a little bit worried, and then they hear that the woman is leaving or something. And then Shadow starts freaking out because he's like, this isn't right. You're right. Like, they aren't coming back. Like, we got to go. I got to find Peter and the fam, right?
Yeah, but like, they jump to conclusions. So let's be honest. Just because someone leaves,
took a chance.
But again, this makes me very depressed because it's like every time we leave to go to the grocery store or whatever, our cats think it's the end of the world.
Yeah. I mean, how about when I was just gone for like 2 weeks?
She was in rough shape, I'll tell you.
I gave her wet food to compensate.
Totally worked. It makes me never want to leave again. But they jump to conclusions. They decide better take our chances out in the wild. I believe our home is just over this mountain.
Just over that what mountain?
Let's check it out. So they escape. And they're like, great, this is fun. We're out in the wild. They cross the mountain. Oh no, that's not home. It's a lot of other mountains.
It's a mountain range, everybody.
Woo!
It's this crazy. I mean, it's in California, so it must be part of the Rockies. But mountains for days. But you know what? They're like, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. So they do it. They get in a lot of adventures. The family finds out the dogs are missing. They're upset. Obviously, it's the most upsetting thing in the world. I speak from experience. I'll tell the story later. And
your cat didn't get lost in the Rocky Mountains, did it? Got lost in the chimney.
Okay. Spoiler. Now I don't need to tell the story. It's over. Great. Yes, a little different. Still the same mentally for me. So whatever. But so they are running across the wilderness. They get into all sorts of things: mountain lions, porcupines. Sassy falls in the water.
We'll go over. I made a list.
Eventually, they rescue this lost little girl in the woods, and then the animal shelter people come and are like, "Oh, look, it's those animals that were on the poster." So they bring them in. They call the family. They're like, good news. We found your pets. They're like, whoa, best day ever. So they drive out there. And they're like singing songs, all excited. And they pull up. And the guys are like, so bad news. The dogs left again. So the dogs fucking got spooked again jump to conclusions because Chance has pound PTSD, and they run and escape, and now they're gone again. And so the family just drove all the way there, and no pets.
I'm glad they didn't show that scene because I didn't remember that they did, but I was like dreading it because I was like, oh man, I can't see these kids' hearts being broken again.
Like what? Cut me some slack, Jack.
But they didn't show it, so you're like,
I know. They're just you just see them being sad. So they go back home, and the dad's like, well, if they made it this far, they might find their way back home. I'm like, okay, I guess. Wishful thinking, but whatever. I mean, he was right. Yeah. So the dogs make it, and then they see the town like in the valley or whatever. So they're like, yay, we did it. So they just need to get across this one train track, and Shadow's leading the way, and then he fucking falls in a ditch.
Not just any ditch, a muddy ditch.
A muddy as fuck, deep ditch. And he can't get out because he hurt his fucking leg, and he's old, and he can't climb up the muddy ditch. It's so upsetting. And Chance tries to make him go. He's like, you have to come, and whatever. So cut to the kids.
You don't know.
Right. We don't know what happens.
Scene change.
Don't know. So I still don't know what happens, actually. And there's this Thanksgiving. So we're having a good time. We're playing basketball outside. Everybody's a family. They finally called the dad, which is like...
I think they've kind of moved back
big
to that
step.
house.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck the city.
So then they hear a dog bark, and the little Jamie's like, it's Chance! And like, oh, honey, it's just a dog. It's not Chance. But it is Chance. And he runs over the hill. And here he comes. Chance! And then Sassy comes, and it's all exciting. She's like, oh, Sassy. And Peter's like, oh, boy, Shadow's next. Yeah. And so he's just like waiting there like,
crickets.
Shadow?
Probably
no shadow.
Literal crickets.
No shadow.
No shadow.
And then Peter immediately is like, oh, he was too old.
He was too old.
He died. He's too old. Made it. Yeah. So he's like, fuck this. So he turns around, goes back to the house, and then you hear like the sad little bark. It's like, woof, woof. And it's Shadow, you guys.
Limping.
He's limping. Here he comes.
So that's the part that got me.
Yeah, he's just like the
Chance
little
is back,
limp.
And it's like so happy and whatever, and the cat and ever, but because they do such a good job of like, you honestly do not know, is this going to be Old Yeller or is this going to be Milo and Otis? Like, is it happy or sad? What is it going to be?
Pick a lane.
Because when they're doing that whole speech with Chance in the hole, like all muddy, it's just totally left open. There's no, I just feel like they did such a good job with that. Well, so when you see Chance, like you feel like Peter, you thought he was too old. You gave up on Chance, but he made it through.
You gave up on Chance?
Shadow. You gave up on Shadow. Anyway, so it's this great scene where he's like, is limping, but then he sees Peter and he's just so happy that he magically heals and doesn't have a limp anymore and runs and runs and runs.
Well, I think he just like fought through the pain. But like, what I want to know is how the fuck did he get out of that ditch? Yeah. We'll never
Maybe
know.
It's in the deleted scenes.
I like to think that Chance like found a board and was like, climb up this, and then like pushed it down.
That's exactly what I thought. And I thought that's what happened because there are all these boards leaning in there.
I know.
And that's why I understand when Chance was like, it's like not as steep over here, but it's still like the wall. When they could have done the boards, which is maybe what they ended up doing.
I mean, they don't have arms, so like it's difficult, I guess.
Stuff with your son.
I know. They did everything else. I think they could have made it work. Yeah. We'll just say we're on the board theory team, so call us if you have a different opinion. Let us know.
Maybe we'll find out.
But anyways, family reunion. Everybody's happy. Everybody's got their pets back.
Happy. And a lot of lessons were learned, right? Because Chance learned so many lessons on this incredible journey. Mostly that he has this family and that he's not abandoned, and that he has friends who say it would save his life. He would save theirs. I mean, he just learned so many lessons. So this movie is not just a story about talking dogs.
No, not even. Not in the slightest. You're right.
It's about fidelity, friendship, teamwork, accepting a stepfather, having hope, and fears of abandonment.
Wow. Good one. A lot of lessons, a lot of things, a lot of themes. Yeah, so that's the flick. Sweet little movie, sweet little flick. I love it.
Wait, I have one more.
One more lesson.
The theme of the movie is initially, like we said, pro-dog, and he's like talking about being man's best friend. And I feel like the animals are so worried about like the humans and taking care of them and stuff like that, that this movie is about how they actually became each other's best friends.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, definitely.
So really like about friendship and teamwork and not having, you just can't do everything alone. It's okay to say you need help.
That's nice.
I'm just listening to different things.
She's just spitballing now. She's saying all the lessons.
This movie's so deep.
Yeah, so obviously watched this a lot when I was little. I feel like I have I'm a little afraid of animal movies in general because I just know it's going to be bad news or like it'll be sad. Like even if it's happy, like I still get sad about a bad thing happening to a dog, like seeing Sass. Oh God. So now that we're cat ladies,
Right. That's why I'm saying whole different lens.
it's much more traumatic. The whole movie is very traumatic. And also the whole time you're like, how did they do this? Like, how did they film this scene? Was it a fake cat? Was it a fake dog? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, the animal stunt level on this, honestly, like dogs, like fine, you can get dogs to do anything. How the fuck did you train a cat?
We need a behind the scenes. I bet there's a behind the scenes somewhere on YouTube. We will find it. But wow, you guys. Oscar award-winning performance from these animals. I am so impressed. I've never been more impressed with an animal in my life.
Wow, yeah. And I had like kind of two other movies that were my like main dog movies as kids because I wasn't like in love with movies about like animals and stuff. And some were dumb. Think about like Beethoven. I'm like, that's
Air Bud.
Air Bud. Like I don't know. I just never like liked. This is probably my favorite dog cat movie.
Me too.
But I'll add to that, you know, my kind of trio here is Milo and Otis, which is this is very similar to in the sense that it's just like little animals on a journey and they have these funny little voices and this and that. It's a little bit more like I feel like for younger kids, but I remember we got it at like Walmart in the dollar bin and we watched it.
I've never seen it.
So you've never seen it?
We go through this every time we talk about animal movies. I'm too afraid. I know it's a happy, but it like I don't know. Just like
that one. But
animal
they're
movies are
kitties,
overwhelming.
and puppies. So it's like how do you train a kitten and a puppy?
I don't know. Couldn't train my kitten to do shit.
And then I'd also add Lady and the Tramp to that.
Ugh, so good. I love Lady and the Tramp.
Also, sad part that you don't know which way it's going to go.
Oh my God, at the end?
Yes.
With Jacques? Or not Jacques, the other one? Trusty?
No,
Is Jacques. No, it's the bigger dog.
the bigger dog. Yeah.
I don't know.
Aren't they both injured?
No, I think it's Scotty.
It's a bigger dog because he comes in with the crutch. Okay.
Crutch.
We clearly
It's
don't remember.
so good. But that part too is so upsetting. But it's just, oh man, and the little puppies at the end. Oh my God, I can't handle it. So, yeah. So animal movies, I just kind of get like, I tense up a little bit. It's like sports movies. I'm like, ooh, is this going to be like Cool Runnings? And then I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it. But so that's why I kind of stay away from animal movies. But I did watch this when I was little, partially because I knew how it ended, so I knew it wasn't going to be bad, but I just thought it was a really cute movie. It's the perfect length. It's like an hour and 25 minutes. There's shenanigans, but not too many shenanigans. I feel like in these kind of adventure movies, you get into that pattern where it's like one bad thing after another, and then it just seems to never end.
Yeah.
But this one seemed to have a good balance of like, yes, bad things, but adventure.
Yeah.
Bad things, adventure.
Yeah, and I think they did... Like, yeah, you're right. Because I wrote a list of kind of like all the like obstacles they face, and they're kind of like in categories, right? So you have like the water crossing. So there's like obviously like natural peril that you're having to go through, and that's like the scene where Sassy falls. We'll talk about it later. It was traumatizing. A food shortage. Like, what are they going to eat? They're used to getting dog food and their food given to them. Like, how are they going to fare there? Mountain lion or natural predators. That's got to be in there, right? Because, like, you know, dogs, they don't have a lot of predators, especially if it's a bigger dog. Natural predators that won't eat you but will injure you, aka the porcupine. Like, you know, it reminds me of my my cat saw a raccoon and like flipped her shit and ran like faster than I've never seen because she's never seen a raccoon before. I mean, she's basically never seen anything. She's an indoor cat.
Best.
But, like,
that was the best.
Yeah, so it's like when they have it, and like in this case, Chance is like really curious. So he's like, I've never seen that before, and he gets pricked, right? The lost little girl. So like they have kind of their own little rescue. Like they're such good dogs. They'll like rescue other people while they're trying to get rescued. I mean, it's off the charts.
Selfless.
The very typical in the animal movies, the animal control trope. Because that's like the evil human side. Because there's always like a nice human side that you're trying to get back to. And then the evil human side represented always by the animal control people.
Well, it's just so hard in this movie because they were trying to save them. And we as the audience knew that's what they were going to do. And that they were just trying to help them, but the dogs misunderstood it. So that was especially
difficult. But they always
difficult.
have like bumbling idiots as animal control who seem like not animal people at all. And it's always like some fat guy.
Yeah,
looks really dopey, and yeah, so that was funny. That this was
like
in here.
He's the guy whose like theme song is like bum 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 bum.
And then the two others, so then they cross trains, so like transportation or like those kinds of things that could hurt them. And then the shadow injury, which really was just, a weird accident. I mean,
Who would have known those old rickety boards would break?
he made it all that way. He was so confident. He couldn't see. It was too muddy.
It was he got so muddy, and that's like they had to cover dogs in mud. Like I don't know, was there a disclaimer? Animals were not hurt in the making of this film.
When you watch this movie, you're like, oh my god, as Sweetie said, like the stuff they can make the animals do is crazy. And like I said, the dog stuff isn't as crazy to me because I'm like, dogs are very smart and you can train them to do basically anything. But it's the cat stuff, and it's the cat and dog stuff. So, like, how do they get cats to interact so well, like they're buddies with a dog?
I don't know. I mean, you can train any animal, so it's just harder to train a cat, I guess. Yeah. But I've seen it done.
How do you get...
And it's just a really good cat.
When Sassy was trying to get the spikes out of Chance's snout, she was, like, biting his lip for an extended period of time.
Probably put, like, catnip or, cat food on his mouth.
And the dog didn't, like, freak out. How do you get a dog to limp?
That one, I don't know. Unless they really hurt his leg. Just kidding. They didn't do that. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways.
And how do you get a cat to do the stunts in the river?
Oh, my God. Okay. So we'll talk about the Sassy scene right now. So it's maybe the most traumatic thing that's happened to me in 6 months, we'll say.
I did not remember the scene being as long and as intense.
Oh, my God. So they're like, have to make this river crossing. And Sassy's like, I don't want to swim. I'll find my own way. So she finds these rocks and is hopping across them. And then on the last step, it's like a log or something, and it falls, and she falls into the river, and she's like, "Oh, Shadow!" And this fucking cat, guys, is like trying to swim, and the water's getting rough, and it's like dipping under the waves, and you're like, "Holy shit! Get that cat out of there!" Was that a real cat?
It looked like a real cat.
Oh my God, I don't know what was happening, but it was
and they even
fucking
had like
nuts.
the camera in the front of her
oh
face.
My God.
And she's like,
oh my God,
my heart broke.
We were like dying.
I had to immediately go over and hug my cat. I'm like, are you okay?
So she's like trying to swim, and then there's this roaring waterfall at the end, and she fucking falls over it. That obviously is not a real cat. It's just like a stuffed cat, but it was still super traumatic. And then Shadow's like, oh no, like the water swallowed her up. And you're like, oh fuck. Like if I was a child... Like, I saw this when I was young, but I don't know. If I saw this in the movie theater or something and I was a kid...
I remember that seeming as traumatic.
I don't know, like, what would I have done?
Yeah.
I don't
We're just
know.
more cat people now. But, yeah, so... But that does introduce us to the lucky winner of the Sweetie Club Award this evening.
Woo!
Sweet birder guy who finds Sassy.
Yeah!
So
Sweetest.
Sassy washes up literally a pile of hairball pile. She looks dead. She's real dead. And the sweet little birder guy, I mean, I guess he's birding, so he's maybe, did he see it with his little glasses?
No, he just saw her. Like, I don't know how he spotted it. I didn't see it.
I mean,
was like,
she
what
was
is
like
that?
black mud. So he goes
Like
over and he's
rags.
like, how'd you end up here, like, little buddy, or something like that? Thinking, he thought it was dead because he picks it up and then goes, you're alive. So he was going to pick up a dead cat? I mean, he's sweet just in that sense.
Yeah.
So he ends up being the sweetest little nugget. He wears like little like knit hats and plaid shirts, and he's like little glasses, and he just like likes to bird watch in his little cabin. But he takes good care of
Sassy, cleans her up, gives her goat milk, keeps her warm, and then she makes it through the night. So he's like, "You're gonna make it." And then they're like sitting outside, and he's like petting her like the cat. He's all excited because he got himself a pet now. And then she hears Chance and Shadow barking, and she's like, "Chance, Shadow," and then she runs off, and he's like, "Where you going?" Okay, like good luck.
Like
stay out for the
he's sad for a
waterfall.
second, but happy because she's found her people. But he's so cute. So I love that guy. I know he doesn't. I wonder what his name is in the credits.
I know.
Sweet birder.
Sweet old
fella.
man. Sweet old man.
Yeah.
So that's a good scene. And then like the part that I also weirdly turned up at was when Sassy saw Shadow and Chance and runs after them and is like, "My boys!"
Yeah. Right. Because they have a pretty contentious relationship before like this near-death experience.
Sassy and Chance. She's okay with Shadow.
Yeah. So, but she was always like, just like, I'm a cat and whatever. I'm so much better. And she, she learned a lot of stuff too. Like it's,
She learned it's okay to get dirty once in a while.
Dirty. Cats do rule and dogs do drool, but that's okay. And it doesn't mean one is any better than the other.
Good one. Yeah, that's so true. So that was traumatic as fuck though. Then let's see. Do we need to talk about any other traumatic adventure sequences? What you got?
Not traumatic, but I really enjoyed the mountain lion scene this time. So they come upon, like we said, a natural predator. And ironically, it's a big cat, right? Which is pretty funny because they always, chase cats, and it's like the other way around in the wilderness. Ha ha. But anyway, so they have to try to figure out how to get out of it. So they are kind of stuck at this end of this like ravine, and there's water below them. And Chance starts like confessing like all like this stuff because he thinks they're gonna die. He's like, I buried the TV remote like under the swing set. And Shadow's like, swing set, because he sees this rock that's like a seesaw, a rock that looks like a seesaw or whatever that physics.
It's a seesaw.
No, it's not like called something. It's like pulley.
Yeah, but
pulley
they called
lever,
it a
but one of
seesaw.
those. Anyway, looks like a seesaw. So Shadow is like, we can catapult the cat into the river. So he has to like lure the cat though, and he's being like chased through the woods. And you're like, wait, I'm pretty sure that cat runs like way faster than a dog, which is totally true because I looked it up. Mountain lions run 50 miles an hour. People, that's like a car on a slow highway.
Yeah,
and dogs run 19.
Can't even make it up to 20. Right. Can't even make it up to 20.
So it's like, come on, cats do rule and dogs drool. Anyway, but he outruns it, and this end up to get him on the seesaw. So then Chance can jump and fling the cat away from them down to the river below. And that scene was really fun, and I like how it was executed.
It was
5 stars.
5 stars. Would
5
watch
dog
again.
bones.
But yeah, that was cool. I mean, did they have to train also a mountain lion?
Right.
Like,
I just
what?
do not get the animal tricks in this.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that seems pretty good. I like the let's see. I don't know what I like. Everything's very stressful for me when they're out in the wilderness. But I mean, the porcupine scene is funny. I feel like there was once a time where they told you how they did that porcupine thing, like in the face. But now I can't. It's not in the trivia.
It's not. It's makeup. I mean, they just like stick it to them,
Put
right?
makeup on a dog? Oh my god!
I mean,
now I've seen
like,
everything.
all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like animals covered in mud, like you said. Like,
oh my god,
making that poor dog lay down in mud,
or just like you probably just had to cover it in mud. Like someone's job was like get dirty up this dog. I don't know.
God.
It was crazy.
This reminds me of, remember when that movie came out, like about the dog that basically gets reincarnated.
Okay.
We kept
talked
seeing
about
that
this
preview.
another time.
And we were like, who would want to see that movie? Because the dog dies like 10 times.
It's like my worst nightmare. No, thank you. No thanks.
Bad fail dog movie, fail. But remember, like that was, I remember it came out in the news that they actually treated the dogs on that found out that they treated the dogs on that movie like so badly, and they got all this flack for it.
Oh no!
So I just brought that up, and
they probably did in this. We'll never know.
Making them do all those stunts and shit. I
remember
know.
seeing the disclaimer.
Ugh.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. Also, this movie makes me relive my constant fear of losing / killing somebody else's pet when you're watching them. It's always a constant fear of mine, and I feel very bad for this lady, even though. Guys, she didn't secure the note down. She's like, let me just put this flimsy note under this jug and not even put it all the way under there. Like, it's a barn. You secure that shit. Note flies away. The guy thinks the dogs are with her. Doesn't look for them. Anything like that. She leaves. She has to go like her, like, what is that? Like a horse
I can't believe
thing?
she's doing that.
I don't know.
She's basically like marching the cattle to the other side of the mountain kind of thing.
Like
What is that
Brokeback
called?
Mountain style.
Yeah.
But it's like... like, come on. You might, I don't know. Like, do it another time. Cancel.
No, that's like, I would never offer to cat sit someone and be like, BT up, someone else is going to come over and cat sit for my cat sit. So you're like, cat, you're sitting. What's that called? When it's just like double negative.
No, but it reminds me of in Adventures in Babysitting when they're like, Chris's mom wrote her this check. And then I bought Chris some press-on nails, so I wrote it off to her.
Totally. And I cat and dog sit a lot, and I would never, if I couldn't do it, send someone else in my place. I mean, extended periods of time, right? But, so, as I said, I am kind of a champion cat sitter, dog sitter. People call me, and they're like, hey, want to cat sit my dog? And I'm like, you bet. Cat sit my dog. You want to dog sit my dog? So, I actually have, like, a lot of, like, kind of gigs with people when they go on vacation. I'll, feed their cat and stuff like that. My aunt, we stay there sometimes and take care of their dog when they go on long trips. So, it's, like, combined house sitting, dog sitting. Anyway, so I have.
She's got a lot
sadly, my most unfortunate dog sitting story.
Okay, no dogs die in this story.
No dogs.
Don't worry.
It's really sad for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, what are you talking about? He was fine.
So I'm dog sitting for my friend Laura's German Shepherd, and I why did I go? Oh, so she had told me when I had dog sat a couple times, but she said like recommended I take the dog out the back way this time instead of the front of her house, which I hadn't done, and I wasn't familiar with how like the back door worked. So I go and I take the dog, or I think, oh no, I didn't have the dog. Sorry, I didn't know how the door worked. So, but I like went outside to check out the back area to see if I could like take the dog out there, not knowing that her house was the kind where like shit locks right behind you. It's like an automatic lock. So I'm locked out of my house. Dog is luckily inside. With my phone is there, my keys, like literally my wallet, everything is in that in the house. I don't know anyone really in the neighborhood. She lives in a condo, so I just start like ringing doorbells. And I ring this doorbell, and this super nice lady answered the door and was like, "Oh," and I told her the story, and she's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Do you have like my neighbor's number, the landlord of this building, blah blah blah." The landlord lived in like Cincinnati or something like that, was like in the Midwest. This lady like calls this other friend who had my friend's number, but my friend is staying at this like ski lodge like way up in Vermont and doesn't have any service. So I'm stuck at this lady's house, like literally like she has to go like pick up her daughter, and she's like, you can stay here while I go pick up notes. She leaves me alone in her house. But I'm like freaking out right now because I don't know how I'm gonna get in touch with anybody, because this is 2018. Who remembers and memorizes any phone numbers? I don't have a phone, but I could I know mine, but I've had mine forever. The problem is people have changed their numbers so much. Like I only remember people who still have their original, which is my mom, luckily, my grandmother, her house phone, and then my friend Haley Nickerson's number, just because she also has never changed her phone number. So I'm able to call my mother. Thank God. I'm like in tears, being like, I don't know how many inside. I can't reach my friend. If there's a spare key, no one has a spare key. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I can't get a hold of my friend, like I said, in Vermont. So I'm like, call. So I have my mom text Andre, letting her know that I'm going to be calling from a weird phone number. Then I like get Andre's phone number from my mom because I don't know it, and I call Andre here. Luckily, Andre has like a set of keys from my house, so I was like, I'll meet you at my apartment. However, I don't have any money, and I'm in like a couple miles from public transportation. So this lovely woman again, and I don't have a coat on as well. And it's middle of winter. This nice lady who I'm letting me stay at the apartment while I'm like silently freaking out and crying, loans me her coat and $10 to jump on the bus. So also it's 2018. I don't know when the fuck the bus is coming. So I just like go out there and I just start walking. And I was like, well, I'll get on the next bus that comes. Did that, met Andre at my apartment, like stayed here, took a shot of tequila because I was so freaked out. Finally got a hold of my friend, and she's like, well, like, I think it's just easier if I come home. And she's going to drive all the way home from Vermont. I ruined her vacation. And I was like, no, like, we can do this. I know there's 24-hour locksmiths. So she was able to, like, text her picture of her license to the locksmith. So they let me in and, like, all these details. And it was actually, like, super easy. I just showed up. Like, I was like, okay, and, like, let me into the house. Oh, my God. It was the most, like, stressful day of my life. And you know what goes through my mind, like, constantly about that whole thing? What if, like, I was cooking something and I had the burner on, you know what I mean? Like, or on the pan, and I got locked out of there.
The neighbor told the neighbor to call the fire department. They would have come and
right. So then it would have been,
banged the door
like
down.
A whole nother thing, right? Ugh.
Would have been something. But so she had one bad accident. But if she's still available for pet sitting, don't let that deter you, folks.
Oh yeah.
She's great. Yeah. So I mean, we've all had traumatic stories. My quick story is my cat Monkey. Sweetie would do this thing where she would come home a little tipsy, and then my cat would always like sneak out the door in our apartment building really quick because she was like lightning fast. You gotta be quick. So when Sweetie was a little tipsy and it was drunk in the hallway, she wasn't at her quickest. So Monkey slipped out. Whoops.
And I didn't notice she did.
And nobody noticed. And then I'm like, it's like dinner time or something. I'm like, where's Monkey? And I can't find her. I'm like, Sweetie, did you see Monkey when you came in? And she's like, no. I was like, okay, I can't find her. We can't find her anywhere. I'm freaking out. I'm like shaking cat treats up and down the stairs. I can't find her. She doesn't come. At this point, we've decided that she must have run outside and then got outside the building and is now roaming the streets of Brookline, Massachusetts. So I'm literally wandering the streets at night, shaking a treat bag, just like shaking it like monkey, like this sad girl. People probably walk by and were like, "What the fuck is happening here?"
It was raining too.
Yeah, it was like raining. I'm shaking a bag of cat treats. It was the worst. She doesn't come. So this is like this is a day, and then I go to work. I make posters just like in this movie where you put like lost cat, and then like put them up all over the town, like all over the apartment complex. Like someone's gotta find her, and then still nothing. that night, so this is that's like a full day pretty much. So I'm sleeping, phone rings, I pick it up, I'm like, hello? And this guy's like, yes, hello? I have your cat. I see picture.
You
and I'm
think
like,
it was a ransom?
I'm like in the middle of the night, like, what? You found her? And then I go out into the hallway and I'm like, where are you? And then I can hear him talking to me on his phone from upstairs. I'm like, I can hear you. And he's like, I'm in the top apartment. So I like fling open the door. I run upstairs. It's like this couple and it's our apartment, but flipped because they were on the other side. It was like I was on Poltergeist, like on the other side. And I'm like, whoa, I'm like, this is a little weird. And there's like no furniture. Were they serial killers? I'm not sure. So Monkey's like on the windowsill. Apparently they had accidentally they heard her crying outside their door. They opened their door. She ran inside. They couldn't get her out. They put her out. They thought she had made it out, but she's so fast, she snuck back in when they weren't looking somehow, ran into their chimney and hid there for the entire day/night. Finally came out at night and was like, wow, and like a sooty mess and like walking around. These people were like, what the fuck?
How do you not know there's a strange cat in your house? I'm sorry, like she didn't blend into the chimney that. I mean, how black
She
was
was
their
up
chimney?
the chimney. Remember April used to hide, or like Annie or one of the cats. There's like those chimneys you could like climb up.
This could have been Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, Sweetie's Story,
Monkey's Adventure.
No, this would have been the plot if like they were like, hey, we got your cat, and you can hear him. You're like, oh my god! You like run up there, and they're like, so I'm sorry, but she crawled up to the chimney and is now outside.
Oh god, it was like on the roof, and I'm like,
no, but just like in this story where they kept getting excited and be like, oh boy,
God.
and then
that's
you're
what I'm
like,
saying.
no.
Like the idea of a pet. So a pet being lost is awful, and like that was the worst 24 hours maybe of my life. Like I didn't sleep.
Alive or dead.
I was wandering the streets. I didn't know if she was alive or dead. I was expecting to see her smush body on the train tracks. Like I had no clue, and I almost did wish that I had known she was dead, because at least I would have known. And I feel like that's, and not to equate this to like a missing child, but it's that parents say that same thing, because it's just the worst feeling. So man, these kids got put through the ringer in this movie. I am so sorry. I'm so glad it ended okay.
Shadow's old, like he might just die soon of natural
I
causes
know.
anyway.
He's
and then
probably
what is Peter gonna do?
Oh, I know. I'm worried about his mental state. Is he gonna pull through? I don't know. I'm worried. Yeah. But yeah, let's see if I left anything out. No, I think I covered all my basics. But yeah, I mean, Peter and Shadow are just obsessed. I think that they could tone it. I mean, I get it. But Peter's
like a dope in this.
He's gonna.
Honestly,
oh my god,
like, he's
Peter,
just such a little dopey dopesterson, and like it's so sweet and like means well. But I'm like, you are a dope, and
drip.
Like,
I said
drip.
I said Peter equals drip of the century.
I said dope, which really means more like stupid,
drip.
But yeah, I think drip is. Yeah, I don't know if it's the way that kid acted, but I was like, oh my god, buddy, like fucking face it.
He's gonna get a girlfriend, and everything will be different. Like, just
I'm sure Shadow will be gone by then. But yeah, Peter's like a drippy dripper.
Yeah, he sucks.
And I also think it's funny that each kid got their own pet. What
Yeah,
kind of household
what
is this?
What is this?
They have to beg our parents to get a dog, and like everyone in their family gets exactly the pet they want.
Right? Like, what
is this privilege?
Bastards. Yeah, I thought that was dumb too. Yeah, but anyways, anything else?
No. Amazing movie.
Amazing
it made me so
movie.
happy and sad at the same time, and it just makes my head explode.
I know.
But I really like it. And this movie still, yeah, it's awesome. I'd show this to kids today and be like, okay, it's gonna be sad, but then it's gonna be happy.
Don't worry, I don't want you to be upset. Don't be upset. Yeah, that's definitely what I mean. You need. Okay, here's my pitch. All animal movies should have a disclaimer at the beginning. Either DD for dog dies, DL dog lives, and then everything will be better. And mostly it'll be for parents to be like, I mean, I'm just saying that as a mask to my true purpose, which is so that I can know whether or not the dog dies. But that'd be so helpful, so helpful. Also, though, no one would probably see your movie if the dog died. I don't know. If I saw that rating, I'd be like, wow, no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. So I know why they don't do it, but I agree with you. If you were president, I'd make that happen.
Let's just stop killing animals in movies. Do we need it?
Violence with animals.
We don't need it. We don't need it. Yeah, we definitely don't.
Well, it's just like a cheap shot to make something instantly sad, to be like, let's kill this animal.
Yeah.
So, not a fan.
Stupid.
Not
a fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one. So we had to cut this one a little short. We got to go to a baby shower. Whoops. Sweetie needs to put her makeup on. But hopefully you guys can come and find us a talk about Homeward Bound. If you love it, if you enjoy it, if you cried a lot, let us know. Hopefully there's not a weird echo in this episode. Sorry about that. And if you listened to our last episode, weird malfunction.
Yeah, they're not always like that.
Unclear what happened.
If that was your first episode, don't think that represents us.
Yeah. But thank you for sticking with us anyways and for listening. You can find us on Twitter at the Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye.